Hi, hello, and welcome to episode 46 of the Whips and Whimsy podcast. My name is Zenith. My pronouns are they, them. I am so happy you are joining me here today. This is my YouTube channel where I talk about all the things I have been knitting lately, anything I've been reading, any other crafts I may or may not have been up to. If that sounds like a good time to you, let's jump on in. Today for coffee, I have Dunks, third week in a row. This is a raspberry iced coffee, and it is interesting. I think this is the only flavor I haven't tried from them. At least on the unsweetened flavor. There's some of the sweetened flavors, I'm like, this is a lot. But as far as the unsweetened flavors, this is the only one I had yet to try. It's delicious. So that's what we're hydrating with today. Let's go on into it. I had kind of an interesting week. Every couple months, I just kind of want to curl up in bed and stay there for like 3 days straight, and nothing is wrong. I'm just like, I just need a factory reset. So I had my factory reset kind of week, and so that meant I got my knitting done, but basically I just didn't do any knitting from like Monday until Thursday, and then on Thursday I was like, oh no. And did a ton of knitting, and then on Friday I was like, well, I'm back to normal now. Back to our regularly scheduled program. So it was kind of an interesting week. I did get some things done. I'm going to look down at my handy dandy notes. There's not a whole lot of them. I have one finished object for you. I have 2 current works in progress, including a new cast on, which was unexpected. I also have an older whip that is going to come back into the rotation, so I will show you where we are at on that one as well. I got a library book that is about couture knitting that I really want to show, and I also have an unexpected book haul to show at the end. So when I get into talking about books, I will flip the screen, 1, so you can read the titles, 2, so that if you're only interested in knitting, you know when to turn this video off. If you are only interested in books, you can just fast forward until things start looking reversed, and then you know when to then you know. So yeah, first things first, I am wearing my new sweater. This is the Whatever sweater by Julie Knits in Paris. I love this pattern. It's my first ever sweater, and I'm gonna wear it until it is too hot outside for me to wear it, because I am obsessed. I did wash it, I did block it. I think you can tell the fit's a little bit different. I rolled the sleeves up because that's just, my gender is rolled sleeves. So I don't ever wear sleeves down on anything. Like, it'll be cold outside and I'm like, sleeves up. Like, that's just who I am as a human. So that's fine. I will insert a picture of what it actually looks like blocked. I'm moving out of the way like this as I film, but I may or may not do like blocked, unblocked. So you can see the comparison. Actually, yes, let me center. Blocked, unblocked. Yeah. So definitely did. It loosened up. It is much more oversized. It is so comfy and it is so soft. It's really, really soft, you guys. Most of the yarns, I believe, are merino, like superwash merino. So, which is bad for like the shaping. Like, it's going to continue to stretch out, but also it's so soft and I don't care. And it's supposed to be oversized and shapeless anyway. So like, who cares? Anyway, that's enough about my sweater. The sweater I will never shut up about until I finish some other big project. But for now, let's dive into the actual knitting. So, finished object. I have a pair of socks for you. I love them. They make me so happy. These are actually for my mom for Mother's Day. So after I finish filming, I will be packing these up with some tiny pigs, maybe a sticker, and going over to the post office to get them sent out to her, because I know Mother's Day is not for a couple weeks, but first of all, I have to send it to Florida. Second of all, she's gonna be like traveling around that time. So yeah, between those things, I'm just gonna send them out now and then not have to worry about it. So yeah, these are my standard patterns. So 56 stitches on a size 1.5 needle, 10 rounds of half twisted 1x1 rib is what I did on these. I'm really preferring that cuff style now. I used to do 2x2 and then I tried this and I was like, well, there goes my life. there it goes. I do 30 rounds for the leg, a slip stitch heel. My mom has super tiny feet, so 60 rounds for the foot, and then just a square toe. And these are acrylics, so I'm hoping she gets more use out of them than the wool socks, because, like, again, she lives in Florida. Like, she doesn't really need wool socks. She wears them on, like, the 2 days of the year that it drops, you know, below the 60s. But I'm hoping with the acrylic ones, she can wear them on some of the hotter days that are maybe not incredibly hot. I mean, if it's, like, 96 outside, like, there's nothing you can do in that situation. But I don't know. We'll see. I hope she likes them. If she likes them, I will continue making her more of the acrylic ones because Lord knows I have so much of that yarn. I ordered multiples of like every color for some reason, and now I just have so much. This is the Premier Fruits color, by the way. This is the color Guava. I've knit Premier socks 3 weeks in a row. But this week's sock is not a Premier yarn. We'll get to that in a second, but I'm just saying. So yeah, those are my socks for the week. And then that drops us right into whips. So let's go into the next sock. In the bag my friend Kaylee made me that I show every week that has little mermaids on it. It also has a tangent. It also has like a little octopus squid thing on it. Did you guys see the video of the giant squid that came up to the surface to try to like steal some fish from a fisherman who was fishing? And it was like healthy and it was like 12 feet long. And it was just like not letting go of the bait. Crazy. They've like never seen footage of like a healthy giant squid at the surface before. I was like, oh my god, I'm fascinated. Anyway, that's not why you're here. You never know what you're gonna get with me. Anyway, I have a sock. This is my new favorite sock in the freaking world, first of all. Second of all, it's the Trompe-l'Monde pattern from Summer Lee's sock project book. I am using I'm using 2 colors of Stroll from Knit Picks. The contrast color is Key Lime Heather. And then what will end up being the main color, but you can't tell it's the main color yet, is Everglade from Stroll. I love that it's 2 Florida colors. They didn't even come out at the same time, so I'm like a little bit shocked that they mingle so well with each other. Like they look like they were designed to be, you know, knit together. So yeah, I love them. It's just a basic slip stitch pattern. You're just knitting stripes and slip and stitches, and it's very simple. It's like an 8-row repeat. I'm having the greatest time ever. I have maybe like, I think I'm going to do 4 more rows and then put the heel on it. I think I'm going to do a contrast heel. I have more of this yarn, but I'm trying to get away with only using a 20-gram mini of the key lime because it's one of my favorite colors ever, and it's discontinued. It's been discontinued. So I do have some more of it. I don't know if you can see. Yes, I clearly have some more of it, but I am hoarding it like it's the most precious thing in my stash because I can't get more of it, and it's my favorite. And if I still had access to it, I would knit a whole sweater out of these 2 colors, just being completely real. In fact, I can tell you the pattern would be the Cersei pullover from Knit Picks. I would hold it double, and then I would mess with my gauge because that's a worsted weight pattern. I would make it DK, and I would use these 2, and I would have the most ridiculous looking, incredible sweater. Alas, I cannot get my hands on more key lime, so I just have to find a dupe. It's fine. Anyway, I love this pattern. I started it yesterday. And once again, I did not listen to what the pattern said to do for the cuff. The pattern calls for a 2x1 rib, and I'm doing 1x1 twisted because that's my personality now. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this. I'm not going to carry the pattern down the leg or down the foot. You're supposed to. I just don't want to mess with it. I'm like, no, this is good. This people can see it. No texture inside my shoe, please. So that's that. I also have a surprise cast on where so what happened was I finished my guava socks. I pulled out the yarn bin where I'm keeping all of my acrylic scrap yarns. And there was a ball of yarn. First of all, we're in this bag. My bug bag is back. The one that glows in the dark. That was originally a cosmetics bag from Die With Your Boots On, which is a store in Salem. Anyway, there was this yarn staring back at me that I've owned for years, which is Stroll Gradient in the color Dragon's Breath. Look at that. Look at that. I was like, I need a striped shawl with this in a solid color. And originally I was like, I'm going to do electric blue. In fact, originally I was going to pair this and have this incredible shawl. And then I decided last minute that there was a better contender. So I chose, my ball looks kind of wonky. I chose this and this instead. And so right now I just have the very, very, very beginnings of a boomerang shawl that I striped. I've literally spent like an hour, less than an hour on this. I had to redo it 3 times because I couldn't figure out both the I-cord and the stripe sequence when I was also purling every row. Because like the stripes were ending up on like the right side instead of the wrong side. So like this was like what the front looked like, and I was like, no, I can't do that. So yeah, I did eventually. I just have to start with one color and then add in stripes, but it's fine. Once it's completed, it's not going to matter. Like that little, it's like a ½ inch of non-striped, like it's fine. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. Again, it's just a boomerang, so that means that on one side you increase by 2 stitches, and then on the other side you decrease by 1, and it makes it naturally curve. And first of all, I think boomerang shawls are underrated. Second of all, I'm really excited. Third of all, this freaking yarn, this is La Bien-Aimée in the color Shire. It only had 1 yarn tie on it, and it was so tangled. It took 2 hours to wind this yarn, and I had to break the yarn so many times. And I'm really good at untangling yarn and strings and stuff. Like, I'm the person that people call in to get things untangled for them. Broke the yarn 6 times because I could not get it undone. 2 hours of my life. Like, I missed all of my morning knitting time yesterday because I could not. And I also have I have extra just wound off separately because I gave up on even trying to use the ball winder at all, or trying to do it like manually by hand. It's too much. So yeah, that was an experience. But overall, I'm really enjoying that shawl. My plan is just to kind of work on it when I feel like. It doesn't really have a real end date. Especially now that we're heading into theoretically it's gonna warm up. I don't know when. We don't have any highs in the 60s next week, but at some point it's supposed to warm up here in Massachusetts, and I will not care so much about having any of my warm weather stuff. So this doesn't have an end date. I would love to have it done by fall, but fall is so many months away. So yeah. Anyway, yes. Sorry, I'm going through my mental checklist. I'm like, yes, I said what the colors were. Yes, I said that the yarn was super knotted for no good reason. The thing that annoys me about that is La Bien-Aimée is really, really expensive. I got that at a yarn store I used to work at that did not treat their employees very well. We don't talk about it, that store. So I was mad because I thought I had cleared all my yarn from that experience out of my stash in some way or another. And then I was like, oh no, still have some. and then it got super knotted, and I was like, of course it did. Of course it did. It's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna drink my coffee because I spilled the tea. So like a box. You guys remember 12 Days of Cast-Ons where I talked about how I had already made a really stripy pair of socks? Let me show you the pair of socks. I made a really stripy pair of socks for Advent last year with a Hobbit inspired Advent, and I was like really obsessed with them, and I really love the socks. Yeah. So this is the rest of it. We're working on our next big project, which is the Radvent. What I actually have done, which I did on the solstice, was I started a cuff. This is the cuff. So this is the cuff. Those are just stitch markers on the other side. Which means that when I wear it, this part's going to go... Try not to mess up my needles. This part's going to go like here, basically. And that means I'm ready to start adding colors. And these are my colors and these are the order. I'm really excited. The big ball, this is Knit Picks Nymph. And that's going to be a contrast. So we're not going to see that again until I cast on the other side of the sweater to make another cuff. But essentially the way this pattern works, this is the Radvent cardigan, is you knit a cuff, you start knitting one side, and then you pause, you put everything on hold, take the same needles, you do a cuff on the other side, all the way up, and then you graft the two sides together, and then you pick up around the edges and do the contrast color, button band. So I'm excited. I'm really excited to start this. I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing. I'm also going rogue from what the pattern says to do because I want to use all of this yarn up. I want no leftovers. I want no more pigs. So my plan is that I'm going to ignore what it says to do about changing colors. I'm going to use each color until it's done and then let the next one start. Let it cook. So that's my plan. We're going to see how that goes. That also means the size is going to be whatever the size is going to be when the yarn runs out. Like, if it doesn't fit me, there are plenty of my friends who would wear this color palette, so I ain't worried about it. So I hope it's for me. I want this to be my sweater. But if it's not my sweater, it is what it is. To be honest with you. So yeah, that's my cardigan. I'm gonna get started on it next week. I think what I had been doing with the whatever sweater is I was like knitting a sock, and when I finished my socks for the week, I would just work on the whatever sweater. What I might do instead, because I also have a shawl that in theory I should get done. So what I might do instead is just do like, I need to get through 2 of these balls. I need to get through 2 of these little mini skeins a week and then work on my shawl. Might do something like that. We'll see. We'll see what actually ends up happening with that, how I end up structuring my knitting time. I also really need to focus more and like lock it in on my baby blanket. Which I'm working, like when I work on it for like at least an hour, right? Like I play a podcast and I listen to like a whole episode of like Gone Medieval, and while that's playing, I work on my my baby blanket that's over there that I totally didn't grab for this episode because it looks the same, just longer. But like I need that one to be done, and the amount of days that I haven't worked on it is starting to add up. So like I need to lock that in, and then basically I just want to do, sorry, I just hit the camera. Basically I just want to do all the knitting, and there keeps not being enough hours in the day or not enough strength in my wrists or whatever. You guys know I have carpal tunnel, right? I have carpal tunnel because I knit too much. I knit too much because that's my personality. Anyway, so we're going to talk about books now. I'm not going to flip the camera just yet because there's a book I want to talk about that is knitting related that I got from the library. And this is Knitwear Design by Carol Brown. I know it's backwards. I'm sorry. So this is like a case study on designer couture knitting. And it is so stinking cool. And it has these like really, really wonderful visuals of different types of knitting. This book is out of print, I believe. Again, I got it from like the library. But like, look, the things that this book mentions that you can do with knitting is just so freaking cool. Look at the hood. And I'm so obsessed. And it's not, unfortunately, it's not a pattern book. So it's not going to tell you like how to do any of the things. It's just going to be like, here's the technique for pleats, and then show you like the coolest cardigan you've ever seen in your life. I don't know if I can find that picture in here, so I took a picture of it because I was like, how do I recreate that? And then realized that I don't want to do that level of math because that's a circular cardigan. And I was like, oh no. Oh no. But like, it's so good. It's so good. Just all of it is so good. And I'm so obsessed. And I just keep flipping through it. I found it. Look at it. Behold her. Perceive her. Yeah, the only thing it tells you is Ridged and Knit Design by Mark Fast. Helpful. I did try to see if I could like buy it somewhere. No, this is a really old book. This book is from 2013. So ancient in couture years. But yeah, I'm having such a good time. Look at this dress. Look at it. Look at that. What the hell? Can you even imagine? Can you even imagine like knitting lace? Like that's lace weight. That is definitely a lace weight yarn. And just making that much lace and then like wearing it under like a shaped petticoat. Insane. So anyway, that's the book. If you can find it for yourself, definitely recommend checking it out. It's so cool. It definitely, if you wanted to recreate anything, you would really like need to understand like knitting knowledge. You would need to be kind of an advanced knitter, I think. But it's really cool just for like inspiration and just kind of being like, oh, I don't have to make a basic cardigan. I could in fact make a circular design pleated cardigan with massive accordion sleeves. Petite knits could never. I'm joking. Anyway. Now we're going to flip the camera. So, if you are only here for knitting, thank you so much for being here. You're awesome. See you next time. If you were here for books, hello. Nice to see you. So, mixed things right quick. One of the bookstores near to me is closing soon. Sometime between now and August, they're going to be closing, which is a big bummer. And they're doing a closeout sale of, you can get a bag of books, flat rate, $25, however many books fit in the bag. They're yours. And I used to work in the book industry. And there were a bunch, okay, first of all, there was a whole bunch of books that I wanted, and I wanted to go in last Saturday when she was open. But by the time I realized she was doing the sale, she had already closed for the day. And so I messaged her on Instagram, because she's like a very small store, and I'm like one of the regular customers there. So I messaged her and I was like, what are your hours for the next week? She also has erratic hours. And she was like, I'll message you the next time we're open. So I was like, okay. So she messaged me on like Wednesday when I was, in the middle of bedrotting and not doing anything and like just, playing games on my phone. And she was like, we're open today, like 3 to 5. And I was like, I'm on my way. Let me put some pants on. So I drove over there. There was I had like a mental list of like books that I was like 90% sure she had in her store that she had posted about on Saturday. And I was like, I'm going to get these in my bag, and here's how I'm going to bag it, and it's going to be great. And out of all the books I had on my list, she had already sold every single one of them. And I was like, that's nice. So cool. So I ended up having to kind of like on the spot pivot and figure out some other things, which I did. So I worked in book selling and you can tell. So this is what I got. I'm going to show you I have not moved any of this stuff since I brought it home, so like I partially don't remember what's in here. Also, I bought 2 pairs of earrings because I felt bad that like literally as I was filling the like my bag and she saw my technique, like you could just see her face like fall, and I was like, I'm gonna buy some earrings. So anyway, so I got some books. I got some romance books mostly. I got Apocalyptic by Sue Marigolis. I don't love reading the back of some books, so I can't share them because that means I would have to read them. This was, first of all, it's like early aughts, and it's about something to do with like some kind of girly girl who goes to investigate something with fashion and ends up finding out like the world's gonna end. And I was like, I'm sold. I picked up a Susan Mallory book, The Friendship List, because like once every 5 years I like to read a beach lit kind of book. So I was like, yeah, I'll grab Susan Mallory. It fits. There's some other goodies in here that I'll show them, but I'm going to show them at the end. So let me move all those out of the way. I picked up a book by Jill Shalvis, Lost and Found Sisters, for the same reason. Once every 5 years I want to read a beach read. So, and I'm actually going on a beach vacation in like June, so those might come with me because if they get lost I won't be mad. I picked up Trust by Hernan Diaz because this is supposed to be about it's a novel and it's a 4-part retelling about some like really mysterious rich family, and I was like, I'm sold. Yeah. I picked up Story Thieves by James Riley because I have a goal this year to read more children's books, and I haven't actually done that at all this year. So I was like, let me start here. That seems like a good place to start. I picked up Cyber Cinderella by Christina Hopkinson. Because I needed to know. I needed to know. Basically, this girl Googles herself, and there's like a different version of her out on the like the early days of the internet. Someone has created a site devoted to her, and she's like, that's hot. I was like, I need to know. Teach me more about internet safety. I picked up The Trouble with Tinsel by Julia and Keith Giglio. I may or may not have already bought this last time. I haven't checked my shelves yet to see. She said that if I had already purchased it, I could trade it in for something else. This was the only book I remember like looking at before and being like, I think I want this. And I don't think I got it last time. Yeah, but I was a little bit like, this was the only book that I was like, oh yeah. Out of all the other books, I was like, I should get those. She was supposed to have like Heated Rivalry, and she was supposed to have not the Rosie Danon book. There were a couple contemporary romances. Like if I said them, you'd be like, oh yeah, I know that book. All of them are gone because of course they were. I'm like, damn it. I also got A Lot Like Adios by Alexis Daria. I read her first book, You Had Me at Ola. It was so good. So I'm hoping I will also like this one. I've never read it. Oh, she had The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston, which was actually my copy that I hadn't read and gave to her, and then immediately was like, wait, I want that back. Someone else bought it, so I couldn't like re-buy my own book. So now I guess I have to go on like Pango or something. Speaking of books, oh my god, so sometimes I read on Kindle. They've stopped supporting, as of May 20th, they're going to stop supporting the really, really early OS Kindles. Like the 2011 and lower Kindles. No longer going to be supporting them. You can't download new books on them. That's crazy. That's crazy. I still have one of those. I don't use it. I don't know if it still works. Because I have a newer one. And by newer, I mean I got it in 2016. But I still have my OG. It still has a keyboard on it. I still have that one. And it's like my backup Kindle in case something goes wrong with my newer one, but I don't love that it's not going to be supported anymore. And shittification is real. Anyway, so there were other things I got at the store. She let me pick some stickers and bookmarks. So I got a scratch and sniff bookmark of popcorn. It's double-sided. It says reading makes my heart pop, and yes, it smells like popcorn. So I got that. Very important. I also got a little frog that says eat the rich. I got a little sloth on a donut. And I got a little sticker that says book nerd. Thought that was pretty funny. And then I got witchy ghost earrings. I'm obsessed. And my favorite ones, my bloody knife earrings. Incredible. Iconic. I'm going to wear them so many times. So anyway, yeah, I think that's all that I have for you today. Kind of a shorter episode because I was kind of being a bum. So yeah, next week I'm going to have to figure out my life. There's a lot of different things I want done. I want to finish my Tremblement socks. I want to work on my rad vent. I need to work on my baby blanket every day. And I also would like to work on my shawl at least a couple times. So I think what I might do is I might start making like a little like motivation check mark board where I can just check off like, yes, I did my blanket for the day. Yes, I did my shawl, whatever. And go from there. We'll see. I don't know how I would actually structure that. I did not make the tiny pigs out of my leftover sweater yarn this week because I was being a bum. So I would like to knit some tiny pigs and show them. I feel like anyone who's like a newer subscriber to the channel is probably completely lost right now. But like, you know, the 20 so of you who have followed me from the beginning, if any of you are still here, remember that back in the golden days about a year ago, I knit like a tiny pig, like the size of 2 cotton balls every day. And I would show them on the channel and I would just have like handfuls of tiny pigs that were like so tiny and so little. They take like 3 grams of yarn and they're so cute. And I haven't made one in months because, you know, life. But I would like to have some new contenders into the tiny pig bowl. I keep them in a jar, like in an old Yankee Candle jar. And I just hand them out to people when it seems like the right moment. So I should make some new ones. My stash is starting to dwindle. So yeah, anyway, I think apart from just doing all of the knitting, I don't think I have anything else really hippity happening next week. Oh, I do have the Boston Marathon is on Monday. I love watching the Boston Marathon. I think I'm going to do a warm-up for Tour de Fleece and actually work on my spinning next Monday while I watch people running through Boston on my TV. I'm not going into Boston for that. It's not happening. But I'll watch it on my TV. So I'll have a great time doing that. And my Monday class is canceled, so I don't even have to do homework on Monday. I mean, I do for my other classes, but I can deal with that later. Anyway, that is for real all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Hope you find some whimsy in your day. And I will see you next time. Bye.